Well, I'm getting the brakes done. I got the rears ready to put the new shoes and hardware and everything on. Got the new wheel cylinders on and all new hydraulic lines for the whole rear. I haven't got into the front yet. I'll get into that a little later on. This is the other side. You can see it's all in pretty darn good shape. All the hydraulic lines, the block, the hose, everything right up to the master cylinder is replaced for the rear brakes. I got to start on the front. The rear parking brake cables are seized, so sometime when I can get it on a hoist, I'll pull the drums and work the cables. Usually they'll free up. These are notorious for not seizing up. I've rarely had to replace the rear cables on these old cars, but if I have to, I will. This is some of the old hardware and shoes. Shoes are actually pretty good shape. They're probably the original ones. I'm going to get the drums turned tomorrow. And so the brakes should be all up and working by Tuesday or Wednesday. You can kind of see where I ran the new line down there. And this still has the old broken line to the other front. I got to replace the front lines and front wheel cylinders, tear into the fronts after I get the rears together. So I'll get the drums off yet today, off the front, so I can get them turned also. When I take the rear drums, I'll have the front drums done at the same time, and I'll repack all the front wheel bearings too at the same time. So we're slowly plugging away on the Catalina, and I ordered a new rocker panel. So I'm going to put a new rocker panel and repair the rear quarter there. But the inner wheel wells are solid. Everything's as solid as can be in this car. I got to straighten that out. That's where somebody jacked it and they just kind of bent it out. So I'm going to straighten that out before I put the tire back on. That's the only thing I got to do, other than get the drums turned to put the rear tires back on, and then bleed the brake system, and we'll be ready to get a radiator, and we'll be ready to go cruising. It'll probably be a while. I'm going to do the body work and everything and get the car all done. Probably be spring before I put it on the road. Anyway, you can see my past videos if you want to see from when I looked at the car before I even purchased it to present as I've been working on it. When I bought the car, the engine was stuck, and I did get it unstuck, and it does run now. It runs good. Real sweet running engine. Car's got 25,336 original miles on it too. So it's a nice clean. The back is so nice and clean in this car. Get the front seat upholstery repaired, and I think the interior will be fine. The headliner is good. I also wanted to show this. You can see how clean things are on this. The plating's still on all that stuff. They sandblasted the outside, or glass bead blasted it, but I'll grease it up. But that's the rear right brake adjuster. And it wasn't even seized up. It was all free. You can still see the plating on it. Give you the kind of condition everything so far that it's been on this low mileage car. Well, I got the rear brake shoes on the right side all in place. The parking brake cables to the rear wheels are seized up, so I think I'm going to get new cables. I'd just soon have the emergency brake work, but yeah, I kind of am on hold now. I ended up having to go to the hospital and get 4 stitches in my little finger that I nearly severed on that when I was straightening that, and I got that almost straightened out, but this gave out and cut my finger open really bad. And this was all what I planned on repairing. I ordered a new rocker panel, and I can repair all this welded new metal. That'll actually repair real nicely. It's the only rust on the whole car. And but somebody had jacked up the car on this control arm, bent this side of it out. This part of it is all okay, and the back side of it's all okay. It's just this side. And I got most of it straightened. I just got to work on it a little bit more. But that'll happen, like I say, when my hand heals up. So it's going to be probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 days before I get back to working on the Pontiac. I am going to take the rear drums tomorrow and have them turned. And then maybe by then I'll have the cables, and I'll have to take that apart again to change the cables. No big deal. And that way the emergency brake will work, which I think is important on these old cars with single reservoir master brake systems. I did not convert it to a dual system. It's a unique master cylinder, and they don't make a dual master cylinder that will work on this car unless I went to power brakes. And I just don't want to change it to power brake. I want to keep the car as original as I can. This is the other side. And everything's really nice and clean in there. This car is in amazing condition for the year. So I'm going to replace the shock absorbers too. I see this one here, looks like it's been leaking a little bit right in there. So I'm going to change them. And the fuel line, this is the gas line. That's solid completely all the way. So I may not replace that. I might just blow it out with some compressed air and some lacquer thinner and reuse it. But if it looks bad, I'll replace it. But everything so far looks good on it. One last note, I am still looking for the radiator for a 59 or 60 Pontiac, and I'm going to add some video at the end here of what the radiator looks like for my dad. So he's going to hit a couple junkyards up by where he lives, and he needs to know what it looks like, so that will be at the very end of the video. So that's just a threaded fitting in the tank. Okay, might be able to take care of that. These trans-cooler lines look like they're nipples threaded in here. There should be just a barbed nipple the hose pushes onto. Then it shouldn't be a flared fitting, from what I understand. All right, so that gives me an idea of the shape and whatnot of the radiator. Okay, so I went to the radiator shop and he says, bring me some good pictures, and I'll see if I can.
You could probably make you one, probably.
Yep.
I'm sure you could, but it'd be better to find an old one and have it match, you know.
Right. So the tank is the only difference is that right there. Yeah, 29 inches.
29, slightly over 29.
Okay.